Hi, welcome to the second video of yoga and foam rolling. In the first one, if you haven't seen it yet, we talk about why you'd want to foam roll and some of the benefits you might receive. In this one, we're going to talk about the how-to, but we're going to start by talking about the foam roller itself. So the one I have here, fairly standard. This is an 18-inch in length. It's a 6-inch diameter. And the density of this one actually is a little hard, a little on the more dense side. If you are just starting foam rolling, you might want to start with one that's a little softer than this. In general, color-wise, the lighter ones are a little softer and the darker ones become more dense. That's in general. You still want to check in. A lot of times it will say an intermediate level, a beginner level, maybe a more advanced level of foam rolling when you're purchasing. As far as lengthwise, you can find them longer. Those are great for certain exercises. You can also find them shorter, which are really great. They're very portable. This 18-inch to me has been the perfect length. It's portable, but it also allows me to do everything I need to do. As far as diameter-wise, most of them are 6 inches. You're not going to find too much different, although I have seen them smaller for more portability. But if you do find them smaller, it actually gets a little deeper into that connective tissue. So it's really basically what you're looking for and where you're starting. This is a great place to start. Foam rolling is considered pretty safe, and it is something that you can do every day. But if you have anything going on that you aren't sure about, please do check with your doctor. And you definitely want to avoid if you have any blood clot issues, if you have advanced diabetes, certain skin conditions. Again, if you aren't sure, definitely check with your doctor. I'm first going to show you the basics of foam rolling using my calf. And then from there, I'll show you how to foam roll different muscle groups of the leg and the back. So to start, you and your foam roller are on the floor. Foam roller on its side long ways. So do know that the surface of the floor does have an impact on how deep your foam rolling gets. If you're on carpet or like me on a mat, it's actually a little less deep than say if I was completely on this hard floor. So how to foam roll? We want to think about moving from joint to joint, and we're always staying on the muscle. So we never foam roll on a joint. And if we ever start to feel a heartbeat, we need to get off that right away. We are on some sort of vein or artery that we need to be off of quickly. But as long as we stay on the muscle in between joints, we're usually in pretty good shape. We want to begin by engaging the core, creating this nice stable base. And as much as we can, we want to keep good posture. And we want to make sure that we're breathing nice and easily. We never want to hold our breath or create more tension. We're trying to release. So as far as the calf, from here, I might lift my hip and start to roll here down, again, joint to joint, ankle to knee. And I'm deciding how much body weight is going into this. I'm lifting up, I'm using my right leg here to take some of the weight. Just starting nice and smooth. This right here, a great way to warm up. I'm just kind of rolling back and forth. But if I find any tender spots, this might be an adhesion and I'd want to hang out. And I'm creating more pressure here by pushing down on the leg, actually using my muscles in the back of the leg to pull down. I can also stack my other leg on top to create some extra pressure. And so what this pressure can do is create that response in the body, like we talked about in the first video, and can ask that muscle to release, letting that adhesion go. This might happen after 30 seconds, after 60 seconds. It might not happen during this session. But know that you are getting many benefits just by hanging out there or even just rolling back and forth. So those are the basics. From here, I'll show you how to get other muscle groups. If I want to get the side of the leg here, the side of the bottom of the leg, again, I'm working from ankle to knee, and I can use this back leg to lift up some of my body weight, and I can roll back and forth. If it's more comfortable to take the leg to the front and lift, feel free. I'm working ankle to knee. I can also, if I'm looking for more, I would stack the legs, lift the hips. This is a little more challenging on the upper body. Listen to the body. Make sure you're still breathing. But that can help open up the sides of the legs. From here, if we want to get from the IT band, top of the leg, it's always a really fun one. It's the same concept. I can take this back leg and lift up. That would hold some of the weight. I can take that leg again to the front. And I am this time working knee to hip, rolling on the side. For IT band, you want to lean a little forward because you also want to get this outside of the quad. If I'm looking for a little more, I would stack legs. Feels awesome. So just continuing up the side of the leg, we'll talk now about the outer glute and the piriformis. So that piriformis is the one that connects from my sacrum coming out across to my outer hip. How would you want to get this one? We actually lift up onto the foam roller, taking knee onto ankle, and then the knee of the hip, the glute that you're working is heading down. And you would just roll. Again, you want to stay on the muscle for this one. You'll know. And just roll back and forth until you find a tender spot. Hang out when you do. See if you can get that to release. Moving from here to the inner thighs. In this one, you want to take the foam roller parallel to the body, and the leg will come out to the side. So if you're a yogi, it's half frog. So we take, again, we're working joint to joint, knee to hip. And we would roll the inner thigh out here. The adductors, these are the ones that add our legs back together. This is usually a really fun one with the foam roller as well, but also really beneficial. We don't necessarily stretch this area as much as we should. This is how this one would roll. And then moving on to the back of the legs from here. Hamstrings, just like the calves, but we're working from knee to hip this time. And this time, I can do both legs at once. Lifting the hips, rolling from knee up into the hips. And just like the calves, I might want to take my toes in and out, getting all aspects of the hamstring. And let's talk about the front of the legs, the quads. Again, I'll be working from knee up into hips, but on the front. This is actually a pretty decent core workout as well. I'm going to start this one on the knees, rolling up to the hips. Doing both at the same time for this one. This is why the length of the foam roller can really make a difference. And the last one I'm going to show you today is for the spine. You want to make sure to avoid the lower back. Believe me, you'll know it doesn't feel that great. So you want to start more toward the mid. Hands, I like to take them behind the head and then bring elbows together. This creates more space in between my shoulder blades. Some people like to cross the chest or even reach arms up. You find what's going to work best for you. You also want to avoid the neck. You can get kind of high up on the shoulders, but definitely stay off of the neck. We're going to lift hips here and roll back and forth. This one can feel like those massage chairs. This one's really nice. A great one to end on. So again, that was just a quick intro in how to foam roll. You would want to take definitely your time doing this and hanging out on specific body parts that maybe need some extra attention. If you know that your hamstrings are super tight, foam roll them a little longer, really getting the benefits. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. Namaste.